Hello and welcome to Kedrick Farms. We're back on the Millennial Farmer Map, and since last time I've moved all the equipment up to the farm and finished fleshing things out, so we're going to do a quick equipment tour here. So we've got our handy Chevy Silverado. This is a favorite of mine from Carl Farms. Favorite of mine because I actually had a truck like this for quite a number of years. And we've swapped out our semis. So we got rid of the third semi, so we brought ourselves down to two, just because I'm going to be doing this series single player. And so we've got two of these Kenworth T880s. And I spec'd them out a little bit different, so this one's got some upgrades on it. And then the other one is right back here around the corner, and it's a more basic model, just so that I could tell them apart. They both have the same engines in them, and I left the Wilson trailers. I was tempted to go find some Timties or something, but these in-game Wilsons are pretty nice trailers. So I'm going to actually stop driving around my yard in the truck, because that's needlessly complicated. We're going to jump out here and head on in. And as a lot of you may already realize from last time, this has been pulled off of the Giants mod hub since I put up my video yesterday. And the main reason is that you're unable to open these doors if you're using a controller. So it really causes some issues for console players especially. And so I'm just opening up the doors here to get some light in here, which is silly because there are lights. And can I turn that one on? There we go. And so if we look here, I have the 4730 sprayer. I think this was a mod edit done by OS Modding. The link for this should be in my mod list. And then I've got this 1770 NT planter here that we're going to be using. I actually spent quite a bit of time tonight fixing all the errors with this mod. So I don't actually remember where I got this mod, but it had quite a few errors. And so I think I've got a clean log for that now. And then, yep, we've still got this 8RX here, which I can't wait to put through the paces. We do have some lime spreading that we're going to need to do, so I picked up a DN345 from Custom Modding. And as we saw last time, I've got the 11 shank 915 V-Ripper here. We've got the 645 with the air blower for our bean head. And then if I can open up the shed. Open door. Open sesame. I have decided to pick up a 9RX with the 24-inch tracks wide. I couldn't help myself. Yet another, I guess I'll call it a fan service item for Millennial Farmer. I got the J&M 1432 grain cart with the American flag on it. And then we swapped out the combine. We actually upgraded to the 9870, which is actually the harvester that he has on the farm. We went back down to the 12-row head. The 16-row head probably would work fine with this combine. However, couple of things. One is getting it through the garage door here was not going to happen with the 16-row, and also just because we have a 24-row planter, based on my experience farming back before GPS was super common, you always tried to match up your header sizes with your planter size, so I would need either an 8 or a 12. If I went up to a 16, I need a 32-row planter. And then we do still have the Thunder Creek fuel trailer in here. I'm not sure we're going to actually need that, but, we might as well hang on to it. And so, yeah, this is our starting equipment. And so this should give us everything we need to get going. The other thing that I did and I'll actually grab this tractor to show you, is we just placed some refill points in the back of the farm here. One other thing I did is I sold the, I think he called it farmyard decoration. It was just the piles of junk, the camper. I don't know. It really wasn't doing anything for me, and so I'm really glad that Mapper's Paradise made that something that you could sell to get rid of. Just kind of cleaned up the yard. It does look a little bit empty now, but we'll fill that up with some junk here over time, I'm sure. So by default, there's a seed point here. I added fertilizer and a herbicide tank, and then I also added this, this here lime filling point. And this is because we're going to really need to do some liming. Wow, I'm not lined up at all here. And this refills very slow. So if we look at our fields, and this is one other thing I meant to do off camera, I want to pick up these other 3 fields. If I look here, this one needs to be plowed and limed. This one needs to be limed. I want to get these fields as our starting area. This number 3 is really big. So I'm kind of curious to see how long this is going to take to actually work. But I also want to pick up these other fields right here, these smaller fields, so that we've got a little bit more to do than just work a single field. And so that's going to cost me $300K. Wow. That's like almost $2 million. Or not 2 million, 1.5. 630 plus 530, 163, 4. Yeah. So we'll need about $1.5 million to do that. And so I think that's going to be a good starting point for us. And then from that point, my goal is to not really start with that much money. I haven't checked. Do we have a loan? We do not have a loan, at least. So I think we're going to start with that land. And then, yeah, just a little, whatever money I have left over from that, just a little bit to get us going and kind of see where this series takes us. All right, so I've gone ahead and jumped out and purchased that land. And I think that what I want to do is come out here and let's go ahead and get started with some field work. I'd like to try and line this field. Field 4, I'm trying to figure out where the right way to get to that field is, because I think there's a little creek that runs through here if I look at the map. So we're gonna go over there, and I really should start doing this big field first. But man, this is a big field, and I think liming this big field is going to take a little while. And of course this little field is grass, so that'll make it easier to see. So let's just go ahead and lime this field here, and then we'll catch up and do the big field in either a time lapse or hire a worker off while we go and get some other stuff done. And this lime spreader is actually working pretty good. We're chewing through lime, which is normal, but this is nice and wide. I like this. So we're gonna go ahead and get rid of that map. And yeah, this is only gonna take a couple passes. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it. Actually, let me turn this map back on. Until we learn the map a little bit, I'm gonna hang on to the mini map. So we have decided to do 6-day seasons, and we had to fast forward to day 4 to get the snow to melt. So you'll notice that I'm already on day 4 mid-spring here. This is the first day that there was no snow on the ground. It was snow all the way up through into this, and so Yeah, we're able to get out into the fields. It's still too cold to plant, which is probably appropriate. I always have a hard time kind of mapping the mid-spring into like what month would that actually be. I'm not sure. But yeah, so I think that for seasons planting corn and soybeans, we're looking for about 50 degrees. We could sneak them in a little bit earlier than that, even though they won't germinate till the ground temperature is that high. I'm driving like a crazy man here. Come on, pay attention. Get over here. There we go. So yeah, so they won't germinate until the ground temperature hits 50, but as long as ground temperature doesn't drop back down to freezing, we shouldn't lose any crop. So that'll be something worth paying a little bit of attention to as we get closer to wanting to plant. If I look at the seasons menu, technically we could already be planting just from a timing perspective, but the crops aren't going to germinate, so there's not a lot of point in getting them in too early. And I think we're just going to go back down this long way here. That's going to be the easiest path. Not exactly leveraging GPS or anything here. I'm on kind of an odd angle on this field, which is fine. We'll get plenty of use of GPS here on this big field. So yeah, this is eating through an entire tank of lime. Oops, I'm missing a small strip over here. It's gonna drive me nuts on the mini map for entire seasons. It's gonna take a long time to do that big field, and so I'm glad we're starting with the small field. But part of me is almost like, do I want to do this large field? I am really hoping that this spreader and this tractor are capable of using workers. I don't have Courseplay on here yet. We might need something like Courseplay for a big field like that. We'll see. We'll see. I'm kind of wanting to keep this one more normal. I do have my steering wheel and everything moving into the new office, so I don't have that for this episode yet, but I'm hoping to get back into more normal driving. I could actually do some in-cab and stuff once I get the steering wheel running again, so that might be interesting. I'd like to get back to doing some live streams and stuff. I think this would be a fun series to do some live streams on. And then obviously with that I could set up and run a wheel cam or something like that if people are interested. So yeah, with that, let's cut into a short time lapse while we finish up this field, and perfect timing since we do have to run back and refill. our lime spreading on this field. And so I think we're going to run this back up to the yard and refill it with lime. And next episode, I think we're going to dive into this big field and try to get the worker running on lime. And probably follow up with the plow behind it because that field needs to be plowed. And see how long that's going to take. I think I'm going to probably see about setting up course play behind the scenes for this one. Because I think otherwise we're going to just get really frustrated trying to keep track of the normal workers. I could actually be pretty mistaken, and course play is going to be even more frustrating. But the nice thing is that even though I can't technically get under this thing, the hitbox for this lime filler is pretty wide. So I could set up a course play track to spread and refill, theoretically. We might have to do that. Alright, well, that's something we'll figure out in the next episode. Hopefully you're enjoying the Millennial Farmer Map so far. I think we've got a pretty good look at the farmyard and the starting equipment setup that we've got now. And yeah, if you guys would like, I can do a bit more of a map tour. You know, I guess we haven't really looked around on the map too much. There's some interesting features, some Easter eggs that I've come across here out in the island. There's an island out in the middle of the lake. There's some interesting stuff up here. And so we can go and take a little bit more of a tour around the map if that's something people are interested in. I know that quite a few of the other content creators have done that as well. Or we can just keep playing and actually get out into the fields, which I'm excited to do. But either way, I have really enjoyed getting this episode kicked off, and I'm looking forward to running a series on this map. So if you've enjoyed the series so far, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. That's all for today. Kedurk.